The gym lights glared overhead as students gathered for the last period assembly, buzzing with excitement about prom week. Music pulsed faintly through the speakers. Laughter echoed. The floor was slick from dozens of sneakers sliding across polished wood. But near the bleachers stood Lena Hughes, quiet as a shadow. Lena was the kind of girl no one noticed, at least, not intentionally. She wore oversized hoodies, kept her curly hair in a tight bun, and preferred the library over lunch tables. Her words were few, her presence ghost-like. Most days, people didn't remember if she was in class. But today, they all noticed her for the wrong reason. It started earlier that week. Lena did something she'd never dared before. She asked someone to prom. His name was Dylan Marks, tall, captain of the basketball team. The kind of guy who filled yearbook pages with grins and signatures. He was popular and kind, or so Lena had thought. She didn't do it in public. She left a note in his locker, handwritten, honest, no flowers, no glitter. Just a few lines. I think you're brave and kind. I'd like to go to prom with you. If not, it's okay, Lena. She waited 2 days for a reply. Then came third period gym. The whole class was told to meet in the gym early for an assembly warm-up. Lena walked in unaware. She should have noticed the silence. She should have noticed. How eyes turned and whispers spread like wildfire, but she didn't, until Dylan walked toward her holding her note, and smirking. Hey Lena, he said loudly. I got your letter. Her heart thumped. A whisper of hope bloomed in her chest. I had no idea you even existed, he said, letting the words fall with a cruel chuckle. The gym burst into laughter. Lena turned red. Her legs felt heavy. She tried to speak, but her throat dried up. And just so you know, Dylan continued, I like girls who don't hide under hoodies and behind books. Then it happened. Tessa and Kara, 2 girls from the cheer squad, stepped behind Lena and yanked her hoodie back, then ripped the back of her shirt, loud and deliberate. The sound of fabric tearing echoed. Students gasped. Others laughed. Phones came out. Lena stood frozen, eyes wide, one hand reaching behind her to hold what was left of her shirt. Her skin burned with humiliation, but no one helped her. She dropped her bag and walked out. No tears, just silence. She didn't look back, but what no one knew was Lena had spent the past 4 years training in martial arts. Her uncle, retired Marine and karate instructor, had taken her under his wing after her father passed away. While others scrolled social media, she spent weekends breaking boards and learning discipline. She had always stayed quiet, not out of weakness, but because she chose peace. But sometimes peace is earned through a fight. The next day, whispers filled the halls. Lena returned not with a hoodie, but in a black training jacket. She walked with her head high, shoulders straight, eyes clear. The gym was packed again. It was the annual pre-prom volleyball match, teachers versus students. Everyone was there. Lena walked to the center of the court and asked to speak. The microphone trembled slightly in her hand, but her voice didn't. Yesterday, she began, I was humiliated. For no reason other than being quiet, for having the courage to ask someone to prom. The crowd hushed, and some of you laughed. She said, but today, I won't let it pass. She turned to Dylan, Tessa, and Kara. You embarrassed me in front of everyone, so now I'll show everyone who I really am. They laughed again, but not for long. Lena dropped the mic, pulled off her jackettan beneath it, wore a black belt over a white Jai-style top. Gasps rippled through the bleachers. Tessa stepped forward, rolling her eyes. What is this? A costume. Lena didn't answer. Kara nudged her shoulder. Big mistake. Lena moved like lightning. In a blur. She spun a flawless roundhouse kick connected with Kara's shoulder, sending her stumbling across the court. That gym erupted. Tessa lunged, but Lena sidestepped, swept her leg, and sent Tessa to the ground with a clean, controlled move. It's not to hurt. Just to prove, even Dylan backed away, hands up. Still think I'm invisible? Lena asked, breathing steady. Teachers rushed in, but not to scold. They separated the students and made sure no one was hurt. Principal Davis called Lena. To the office. She went willingly. Later that day, he sat her down and asked gently, "Why didn't you tell anyone about what happened yesterday?" Lena looked at him. "Because I've spent my life not being seen. Yesterday was the last time." He nodded slowly. "What you did was dangerous, but also brave." "I didn't hurt them," she said. "Just reminded them I'm not a joke." He nodded again. "You'll still need to sit out prom night. But I want you to speak at the senior assembly. The school needs to hear your voice." Word spread fast. Not just of the kick butt of the courage. The self-control. It's the calm power. Girls who once sat in silence now spoke up. Teachers started. Listening more. Policies changed. Lena's message traveled beyond her school. A week later, she stood at the assembly. Students cheered. She looked across the crowd and smiled not for recognition, but because she finally felt free. Final message. Strength isn't always loud. Sometimes it hides in quiet corners behind books and silence. But when pushed too far, it resigns when it does. It demands to be seen. Bullies ripped her shirt to shame her, but she wore her strength like armor, and with one kick, she rewrote the ending of her story.